Hey guys, so I'm into quantum physics and quantum entanglement. I started having flashes. Some people call it premonitions, but it like goes into my memory as something I've already seen. Um, Through practice of studying and understanding different philosophies, I've gotten to understand that I see things from past lives or past timelines, or some people might call it quantum entanglement, timeline jumping. But right now it's just my truth, and I combine all different things. But I just want to start with protection spell, prayer, intention. That I am telling you the truth that Elohim and Elher, the consciousness and the subconscious of the mind who channels the void. And we are starting the world in the Hanged Man. Hangman, for me, in the fifth dimension reading, is a person who has let go of different things in meditation and the 9 days of going into oneself, solitude in nature. It doesn't have to be all 9 days. But in the first tarot book I ever got, it said that the person was hung by a tree, or hanged man in a tree for 9 days. In this day and age, I'm assuming that this is more of metaphorical, you know, it's swift action that was needed during some sort of trauma, and it leads into transformation. And I asked for the protection of all the angels and Elohim and Elohim, which is male and female aspects of all of us. And when you do that, you get to 9 cups, which is happiness and love. It takes a long time for people to understand. It took a long time for me to understand that when I hear things or see things, or even related to the news and stuff like that, all of a sudden I'll get flashes. If you ever seen Charmed, I think it is Alyssa Milano, her character, Phoebe, and then yeah. But then I remember Samantha, but she was Samantha on the one with Tony and Angela. Fast movement. So like when I touch something or hear something, I'll get a flash or something. What is he saying? Examine. Okay, I'm examining my life. I bring in technology as well as meditation music because my mind is so hyperactive. The tones help me in my clarity and with channeling. And I'm refusing to be stubborn or compromise in my beliefs. I see with the combined technology into wisdom, tarot, spiritualization, and even a love for Francesca. Yeah, her too. The love of my gods, this has been a struggle. You can't even make that up to say that. And yes, I love her to death. And would do anything to protect her. And that is definitely intuition. And a Pisces, interesting. So I place upon a protection for all light workers, and this is what my remote viewing gave me yesterday. I was trying to think of what it was telling me. Yes, that's a guitar playing, I believe. Sounds like it might be piano. I'm listening to dog anxiety and calming for people who actually have animals in the background. One of my favorite readers does. So I love when she plays her meditation music. But basically, this is somebody who can connect into the void. You have the power of the sun, S-U-N, and with every breath you take in and then exhale, you get more downloads. When you get your mind into a free space, you open your mind in case of it productive. Yes, it's productive. And I believe that I like the fact that I'm bringing in technology because there's not many people. Yes, technology, people are saying bad, and they're still working on it. Everything is about success after anxiety. Maybe that's for me. Maybe that's for you guys. be able to sit there and speak your truth when no one else understands it, well, it's hard. But I go and got the angels here with me, Sagittarius. I gotta believe that, with all the things. Substantial, yes. Yes, yes, she's substantially with me. Ungrounded, male, and successful. Now let's hear net right side up. We got the Queen. King Pentacles. Very grounded Taurus type energy. Different religions, different philosophies. It opens up the key to success. We keep doing fighting in our world. Are you Catholic, Jewish, Buddha, witches? It's all freaking name of things that put labels on us that stop us. If you believe in God, then you believe that God made every religion, every faith, every personality, every which way. And for people to fight over, tales of crap, pretty much. Each philosophy, each religion comes from the greater source of quantum entanglement. When you break down the walls and see the combinations and open up our world to different philosophies, different cultures, and stuff like that, that's when we obtain oneness. That's when we obtain a humanitarian, and that is when you have beautiful fulfillment, which has come true in realization, dream, happiness, fulfillment. It's literally breaking down the walls without guns, violence, or anything like this. This nuclear war has to stop. I've been on many, many timelines that when this happens, it could be avoided, but it literally comes down to humanitarians coming together to make sure that everybody comes together. It's a swift actions, and everybody, we want to be comfortable. But if we are one of God, the Creator, whatever you want to call him, I love one remote viewer, and he says something about God, and I'm not going to say, who or what. Outrageous, yeah. Can't make that up. But God could be a group of drunks, a group of divine, a group of daughters. You can. Doesn't have to be. It's so many different things. Acronyms. Why it says in the Bible, "Do not add or change away from the Bible," because God, the Creator of the universe, cosmos, knew. He knew that there would be different. German. Very funny. Different philosophies, and I guess we got a German goose. Or something's going on in Germany right now. I'll have to check. What time is it? I'm not even sure what time it is. I'll look at time for the fact that 1:54. What's today's date? March 22nd. So let's see if this thing is letting us know there's something happening in Germany from this point on. Distance. Yeah, very much distance. Emotional, immature male, or really, well, I guess we're getting called, Germany's getting called insensitive and unopen and just so freaking evil. But it's not even evil. You have to look at the perception of everybody's lives and what's going on. We don't know. We get fed bits and pieces. I guess there's unexpected changes going on. Well, I send love and light to all Germans and Russians. I actually send love and light to everyone and clear people's minds. Defensive, yeah. Well, if we can put our defense down and learn to live with each other and see the thing of the higher selves, the higher Elohims and Echelons, or whatever the hell you call it. Religion and money is holding back the progress of our world. And, energy is energy, but if you believe in frequency and quantum physics is actually going to prove it, then your next door neighbor, your person down the road, can really change progress, because if we all want a happy home, we all have to work together. Eager, well, the spirit world is very eager. There's so many different opportunities out there with different spiritualities, different types of mediums, and there's quite an abundance out there of knowledge and wealth, and we all have the capability of getting to it, but it's going to take nurturing of the whole world. not just United States, not just whatever. Anyone who thinks that their country, their whatever is more powerful than the other, you're causing this whole world, the whole world, even your own, suffer. And that's the vision. The vision of being able to see the reality of how our world is and see where we are and where we could be. You know, a land of where people understand each other, and when people have children, to awaken them so you don't have to go to trauma and pain. You know, if you really believe in God, then you have got to understand the good God.
Right.
Right. You know, the good God doesn't want this. So what God are you guys actually praying to? And anybody who sat there and sits there and think that somebody who gets into understand esoteric, the occult, understand those people don't just usually practice one thing. When we really get deeply involved in spiritualization and open minding, and then combine paranormal psychology into quantum physics and quantum mechanics, you know, and you get into, you know, you have a choice, and you literally hold the world in your hand. Anything between tarot cards, anything between astrology, you know, becoming predict, and being psychic. You know, I do predict the world, that this world will be awakened. Because the more star seeds and remote viewers and mediums and psychics who, when they meditate and send the information to the void will give us what we need, and we can stop the confusion once we bring, you know, heaven to earth. You know, and being honest to you, hypothesis. You're right. This is a hypothesis, but it's a hypothesis that would never actually hurt anybody. You know, it's spirituality. It's a calling. You know, and this stuff is pretty much free. It's just finding the keys to open it up. You know, you don't have to get dressed and go to church and pay 10% to your freaking preacher who's, you know, making money off, unfortunately, sometimes people's pain. And I'm not saying they're all bad, obviously. You know, that is his point. But a good preacher, a good person of God, good quantum mechanics and stuff like that being proven. Invasion. Oh, God. Invasion of what? Germany? Oh, bubble knife. I swear, I want those. Open those eyes of freaking these authoritarian leaders, man. They're arrogant and they're reckless. And us remote viewers, psychic mediums, channelers, Reiki healers, Reiki down everybody you can. I mean, unfortunately, we have the capability of actually going after the non-believers. Grants. Yeah, I'm going to get a grant. I'm going to get a grant for the United States. Or just private think tank, because this stuff is being proven left and right. Once you hook into the right frequency, the right void of the world, you obtain so many more visions. And then when the right people, and you start seeing the change in people, and the wars and the fighting stops. You know, right now, the world is feeling very limited by what's going on. There is not much that we are doing other than let 3 powerful men destroy us. Kind of like how the light thing goes down there. Sending light and love. But, being child, inner health, healing, you know, the funny thing is, the more people who have been hurt, traumatized, addictions, abuse, sexual assault, rape, go into metaphysics, and our minds become to be cleaner and understand the world, all of a sudden we're labeled as crazy and nuts. Oh yeah, you're racial. Racial too, racial. That's gotta stop, because we all are a part of human consciousness, collective consciousness. I'll take that as a yeah. We are all God's children. You just might call that particular power something else. I mean, even satanic worshippers who, you know, worship Satan. You know, there are some who, you know, there's always a positive and negative. There's always a misunderstanding. Leak what? moving towards evolving acceptance and help. You know, when I get my tarot cards upside down, I believe that's more of a read towards, or them telling me that that's direct, like, thing from them. Page of Pentacles, yes. Investment. Ooh, investment grant. Oh, he just said that. Investment grant. That is pretty cool. Yeah, this is. Where is it? Innate. Yeah, I'm sure that is. Anyway. New, that's a new, the match has been stricken. It's a new outpouring, new beginnings, good news, physical starting, something new, creative spark, new ideas. You got, our world has gotten so, versus, rock and roll, and then it was, between rock and roll and dirty dancing, and, every time our world shifts, Harry Potter's and, Charmed and this and that, it was more of the creator sending us information to defeat what's going on in the world right now. Defeat, surrender, changing, walking away, self-sacrifice, and self-sabotage behavior, unintended behaviors, deception, lack of communication, aggression, bullying, and memory. That all has to stop. Memory. My memories of what's going to happen if we don't stop. We need to ask the sun and the void to bring us light, wisdom, across the world. Protect them with a vow and get the negative energies off our planet. And then they say in Jesus' name, well, that's Jesus. It's not one person, it's Christ consciousness. Influence. Yeah, you're right. Jesus is an influencer. Christ consciousness. Jesus was a person who went into meditation, was able to talk to his son, his father, because even the sun, the spark that started creation, without it, none of us would be here. I mean, that's just quantum physics and quantum entanglement. Without the sun, without everything in the cosmos, base. Right. Kind of like home base. Without praying to the God and void, you'll never hit that home run. No, bingo. You wouldn't be here to be able to do it. So, Jesus, Buddha, all of them just learned how to tap into the void, the A sphere. Enoch, human consciousness on new planet Earth. Well, that was the epoch. Or human consciousness on new Earth. It's all a part of talking to spirit and understanding, ancient and forgotten knowledge. It wasn't forgotten. It's just our planet needed to evolve in a certain way. And if I guess you get too much in the spirit, you just get really lazy, start drinking and drugging. That's just how it was now to open it up. But I'm assuming back then, they were doing some shit. Who do you think found out what everything was? Dirt. Dirt. Yeah, back to the dirt, man. They tried everything to sustain. It's not like someone picked up and said, oh, let's smoke it, and it was fucking weed. And if they weren't high for fucking millennia. Y'all freaking retarded if you think that. The Emperor's the one that took that down. It's called being, I guess, I can imagine going across the woods in civilization. And, I mean, they had some knowledge, obviously, because they've learned, they followed the stars. State. Yeah, well, it did put them in a state of hypnosis. And then maybe the people that couldn't afford the drugs, or maybe it made them sick, or maybe someone, I don't know, maybe that's when, we all lost our, proverbial olive leaf as Adam and Eve. Once we started feeling like, stabbing back, once we started feeling like people were judging us, that's when the ego grew more and more and more. So in a sense, we are where we need to go, but it's time that the planet needs a rest. Dress. Rest, yeah. Headdress, too. Put your headdress on, guys. Enter to the world of the creator. Be curious. Be curious about the world. Be curious about the universe. Be curious about metaphysics. All you guys who sit there and channel and do Reiki and clear energy, don't let anything do with the collective. Connect with other. We really need to connect to each other and develop some sort of time that we all do it. It's just, I think, be a bigger influence. Dirty. That's dirty. I'm sure the kids are gonna come back dirty. I'm not even worried about that. Big changes and opportunities. Sees movement. But I'm sending white love, golden protection through Hermes. So Divergent. That was a good movie. That's basically where we are. Is Divergent. I was thinking about that the other day. That was a good movie. But it's literally like people in the occult arts or esoteric tarot mediumship. We're like this hidden warrior group that normal people don't even understand or conceive what we have gone through in our lives. To become structured, because our world right now came out upside down. Lack of structure, routine, intelligence used bad way. Yeah, I mean, and it's definitely truth system. Yeah, the virgin system. That's where we are, the dark and the light. And then you got the underground anonymous groups and spiritual people who are seeing the truth, but because of how we had to obtain our knowledge, the forgotten knowledge, the unknown knowledge, whatever, tapping into the void. We all had basically come. I have a special meaning for that. And one day, it should be the BJ channel. Yeah. Brian Green. And then Jay, well, Jeff Mishlove. One day you'll see what I'm talking about. Between thought projection projects. And, of course, BJ is something else. But, it's also the merging of the dark and light between the void, particles, and knowledge of that there are things out there that we don't understand or perceive at this time. And, with every science, everything between spiritual and metaphysical. Yeah, metaphysical side. I gotta say, guys, using this little voice box is interesting because it's a combination between, like I said, but because my mind sometimes will just go out there when I hear different words, it just pulls me through to another thing. Temperance. And yeah, it's self-healing. Because I sometimes can lay there for hours. Man. I sometimes lay there for hours and just have a blank mind. I'm really good at that. Some people might call it depression, but when you have the intent in your mind of trying to send vibrations up to the sun to help calm our nation, calm our planet, first of all, it is a lot of hard work. But I do see the magician. I see how we have it. Yeah, words. Creativity, action, power, manifestation, skill, magic work, self-employment. A smooth talker having a gift of gab, willpower, directing with will, creating visuality, manifesting your desires. When you have a magician in your life, that is someone who is healing. If it comes down upside down, this person who hasn't started healing yet. He has projects in mind that they haven't entered out right. So if your magician cards comes upside down, It's a person on a healing path. Responsibility, right? So if you're doing a reading and that comes up, just let them know, they still need more healing. And, it might not work out. Just change this point. Everyone has a different relationship with their cards, but like I said, I read more of the fifth dimension that other people wouldn't understand, so I probably will never get a following. But that's alright. Maybe not now, but maybe 20 years when I'm dead, I will. They told me to be patient and confident. I am patient and confident. I just have a different, weird sense of humor. Oh, boy.
Ticket.
Yeah, it's definitely the ticket. I wish I would have awoken earlier, honestly. Because I would have raised my kids differently. And that's the truth. I would have raised my children differently. Yeah, it's hidden knowledge, hidden information. Because when I went through the loss that I went through, yeah, I owed them big time. Between drug addictions and other things that happened, my world absolutely changed. And I was very stagnant for about 4 years. I'm finally slowly getting the capability of. I'm finding, I guess, my secret sauce. I don't like doing readings when no one's on. So I never like talking to myself. But I think that's why I like the box. It was a lack of ideas, but I'm turning that bitch upside down. I am relieved. And I think Spirit World's relieved too. They've been trying to communicate with me for a while. I just shut it down because with me having a psych nurse background, people call it delusions, people call it psychosis. Well, no, it's thought projection. Even in a lot of mental illnesses, I just listened to one reader and he admitted how he had thought projections of suicide and he knew it was thought projections. And I'm like, thank God. And it was the same day I was having the same, feeling. But because of my strong faith and stuff like that, I was just like, no, that's thought projection. And he was on a live and he went and told everybody that, but we were able to, use both sides of, for me, I was able to use both sides of my brain to say, okay, that's not me, I'm safe, I'm this and that. Psychic channeling, remote viewing, all this other stuff, when you connect into the void and you're losing who you are, it's a big process, it's a long process. And it's a lonely process, and sometimes it's just like you get stuck to get, back into the reality of life, and you see that people just don't see you the way that you even see them. You're hidden back by the emperor, abuse of power, rigidity, stubbornness, lack of discipline, lack of control, absent father, it's also a lack of Ken. But this brings us full of potential when you get into your mind and you're able to start healing it. Then the messages start coming in quicker, and it leads you to abundance and happiness. Mental health, psychosis, they are a very, very real thing. But I do believe when you connect into a shaman, when you connect into the void, and you are taught correctly how to do it, I don't think we have mental health patients anymore. And of course, some of us will have crises because sometimes we see things. We'll have those nightmares. For a long time, for me to figure out why I was seeing things the way that I was fighting my intuition. I was holding on to my beliefs, but I didn't give up because I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew something magical was happening here. But cheers. I knew something magical was happening, but I couldn't put a name on it. Some people might call it psychic. But I see things to change them. And I think that's the key. Is I remember, I'm like, Trump's going to get in and all this stuff is going to happen. And it did. So when I tell you, we've got to stop BRICS. We've got to stop NATO. And if it takes a bunch of us psychic mediums, remote viewers to get together to get into the brains of these people, people might call it voodoo. squealing. Maybe they're laughing. Or they're squealing from the noise that's drifting off. But we have a lack of instability. And they're being very, very reckless. You know, these politicians are using our people, our human beings, as their toy soldiers. They really don't give a flying fuck. Perfect. Exactly. They don't give a flying fuck that our sons and daughters, you know, completely unfairness. Our sons and daughters are dying for a popularity contest. You know, exactly. Money is nothing but a piece of paper that someone made us believe cost something. You know, change, elaborate. I mean, it's a piece of paper with ink on it, and we put a number on how much we are worth. And it's like holding a carrot. Plate. It's like holding a carrot, you know, on a thing and making the donkey run for it yet again. How many more people have to die? How many more people have to hurt? Why is a person who, you know, loses their husband and then, you know, has a traumatic thing happen, why is it that is the key to supposable abundance and combination and acceptance and approval that the creator exists? Why does metaphysics, I mean, thank God metaphysics is proving it. Yeah, it is a lot. Personal security. Well, yeah, we all need personal security, but why does everyone have to suffer? I don't like that plan. I never did. And yeah, when you're suffering, but would I rather have it where I can save my children to have the same mindset the way that I am now without having to be and go through the loss that I did and the physical trauma and sexual trauma that happened after his freaking death? Is that what it have to take? You know, because I'm moving on, I'm healing from that. With anything, it should be the key. You know, we should be able to, you know, you know, you want to pray to Jesus, add meditation into it. You want to pray into Satanism. You know, what is your intentions? Because I rebuke your intentions if it's harming my people. And I say my people because if we all are one unity in God, we all should be fucking thinking that way. Sit there and time again, if you put on a fucking CNN report and you see freaking war and you have absolutely no feelings for this war, who are you? Why are you here? Like, for real. Why are you here if you don't care that people are starving and bombs and wars and disfigurations and people being raped and drugged? You know, it's fucking ridiculous. Yes, victory, overcoming obstacles, success, ambition. Uneven. It is uneven. So why wouldn't we be able to train our children? I mean, they want to train freaking. Why can't we train soldiers to think of ways strategically and all this other stuff? And if quantum mechanics and quantum physics and paranormal psychology proves truth, you know, is that when we become that authoritarian fucking race, but not the way fucking Trump and Putin got it? Because that's just dumbass motherfucking bullshit. Because you know what? Between Brian, me, and freaking Jeff and Natalie and Tyler, and when all this shit fucking comes to actually a head, you'll see that this could be done with actual love and hard work. Why are you all falling for the correspondent? Yeah, I think I was showing too. You know, why are we falling for the devil's work? You know, and don't get me wrong, the devil delivered me to a higher consciousness because I asked it to. Because that is the deal. Absolutely. Exactly. Absolutely. That was the deal. The lovers. Is Jesus and devil, or Buddha and his adversary all wrapped up into one? You know, Gemini, you know, We got fucking Gemini the president over there, you know? But who is he? He is definitely not a balanced dual Gemini type of personality. Let's all be real here. And if he has what I think he has with the neurochips and all that stuff, yeah. Okay, in reverse. Inability to move forward, fear of repeating negative patterns, resisting change. And that's Trump, man. That is totally freaking Trump. Hey, Spirit. Is Trump connected to Neuralink, where he actually has a... What? What the hell did he get? Busy. Where the hell it goes? He literally fucking disappeared. How is that possible? That's wrong. Oh, here it is. Glasses, okay. Two of Pentacles. Balance. Change in personality. But when is the world going to see this? Every day I pray more and more in meditation and send love and light and white and gold and try to calm down the magnetic storm instead. Yeah. Well, there are light workers out there making money, and that's great. I really sit there every day trying to freaking connect with the sun and do energy work. And it gets exhausting between mind, thought, projection, CIA, FBI, and people watching this probably like, yep, she's lost her freaking mind. But one day the truth will come out, and I'm telling my truth. It's so funny. Silent. Illusions come out, right? And everybody else would be like, oh my god, that's horrible. This song needs to be silent. That's my email. So yeah. Comes me. It's the truth. Don't be dismayed. Everything's set up for a reason. Everything. But it takes such power, willpower, understanding, knowledge, and to sit there and email people and, tell them how I'm feeling and getting no response. All because, I'm trying really hard to get such shit fucking fixed. Yeah, I gave them recognition because it's the truth. Good luck with destiny. Wheel of Fortune. Karma, soulmates. For real. Moments, cycles, life, fate, fortune, upheaval, change, and the Hierophant. Tradition, intuition, values, conformity, marriages, commitment, religion, beliefs, knowledge sharing, social groups, education, knowledge, and belief. Layers, for sure. World is like layers. First of all, every time you unload a strip of the onion and those little gaseous smells come out, your eyes start to tear. Because when you first realize that you were let go or brought down the wrong path, that layer crumbles, and if you have emotions, you're gonna get in metaphysics. It is quirky. You get into metaphysics and you realize every time that onion layer goes down and down and down, and you're dealing with a trauma, you're dealing with healing and mental health, and get down to the very layer of it, that is when you connect into, Christ consciousness or Buddha or whoever. You get down to those layers, you cause metaphysical death. People used to get so scared of that guy. Bake. I should get baked. And become the hangman. How funny is that? Feeling trapped with the thing does fun. I think it's funny. Hangman. Feeling trapped, confined, self-limited, uncertain, lack of direction, needing release, letting go, sacrifice, waiting for lack of direction, perspective. For me, when I see in the fifth dimension read, if I saw this and I was telling a starseed or a remote viewer, a psychic, this card came out, I would tell them, okay, you need to go into the grounding mode. because you are a little bit all over the place. Reel it back in, go into meditation, go into walking, go blow some steam off. Like I said, I don't read in really the 3D, 50 dimension. I'm more of 5D dimension, trying to help starseeds and psychics and remote viewers and people who are going through these times to help them, trying to solve disharmony, inequity, poverty. We're trying to bring a balance back. Free balance, trying to find a balance, resourcefulness, ups and downs, adaptability, flexible, juggling life, juggling money, balancing books. It's all about balance in the world, and right now our balance is completely off kilter. Overly critical, pessimistic, lack of empathy, rude, malicious, and that is so true. That's the whole fucking world. Yeah, I'm getting a world fucking view on this shit. Because, sitting there watching people fucking die, it's just, that makes me where I had to go find a new place. Trouble coming out of the frying pan and in the fire. I remember having a dream about that. Now I know what that is. Apprenticeship, learning how to study and grow. And then you have the tower card, chaos and destruction. I wonder if there's something that had gone on. But that's the whole world, though. But I gotta be optimistic. Oh. Yeah, I am a light worker. Big time. I have the intuition. I got the scars of freaking prove and the pain. But I also know with faith, I know my future is bright. And I know I'm going to change the world. I know I'll be an inspiration. Hammer time. It's funny. Hammer is Hulk. No. Well, Hammer's, basically Marvel. I love Marvel. Who's that? Chris? What was it? Chris Hemsworth. So Chris Hemsworth with the hammer. Marvel, Stan Lee. So either a new Stan Lee movie happening or Chris Hemsworth is coming in. Emotional stability. Yeah, I'll blame you. And a scholar. I'm just a different type of medium, psychic medium, and I'm trying to prove that technology and ghost box works. So something with Marvel, Chris, what is his name? Anyway, the guy who plays, it's funny because see, Chris Helmsworth, and he plays Thor. So either something with the movies or another Thor movie coming out, but he also did Men in Black. By the way, big fan. So I send Chris Hemsworth and all Marvel Studios light and love and keep you all safe. Hopefully it'll be a good news on some Marvel and stuff. Hermit, soul searching, spiritual enlightenment, soul searching, self-reflection, introspective compass, and guidance. Asian. Who's Asian? Doctor Strange? No, he wasn't Asian. What was this guy's real name? Wong. Regret refusing offers, miss opportunity, stagnation, after the illusion. Mom. Asian couple. Is he with an Asian person? Did he have a girlfriend? Watery? So okay. Do we have a Cancer and a Virgo then? Only because watery. Success after anxiety. And what else we got? Vibrancy. Energetic vibration. It's in love. It's pretty sad. I gotta use AI to get my brain to get jump started. filter since I feel due to the trauma that I had, I've wiped that a lot. And just my way of protecting, I guess. Or the creator's giving me some sort of filter that only when I interact with certain things or certain people is when I start to actually go into a new direction. Otherwise, I stay to myself in hermit mode, and I hold a bunch of knowledge in my mind, and I don't like to share it. Because up until about a couple days ago, I felt so alone until quantum mechanics started proving quantum entanglement. And I had said for I was emailing Brian for over a year. Like, I have quantum entanglement, love. I see things before they happen. But I guess I gotta live my reality. Some people don't like it. That's alright. I gotta be me. I don't want to be sabotaged anymore. Not by my own beliefs. Well, their beliefs. Fear. Yeah, I had big fear. Put my kids through off. Oh. And I got creativity and victory. No one replies to this post, but you know what? Oops. Right. I'm sharing my path, my emotions, the way I believe. What? I've been very lackadaisical. It's comfortable when you can get yourself out of the 3D into lucid dreaming state. And, my mind goes to the void, and I'm able to almost astral project. I'm more of a lucid dreamer. I don't sit there and share my emotions other than voice clips with some people. But I got protocols to follow. Valuable information, hopefully that means I'll take it. I guess I'll be the new Ghost Box tarot card reader. Sound good? Because I feel like I'm not talking to myself. I know I am, but I'm not. I'm trying to figure out if I'm actually talking to my... Oh, look, it says problem solved. I guess Spirit likes the idea of blending Ghost Box in. Now, I still use pendulums and rods and stuff like that. Afterthought, yep. I mean, I do pendulums, I do tarot, I do what you call it. I just never like sitting here talking to myself. It's it gets into your mind. But you know what? Maybe my female and the male aspects of me is giving me strength of Leo to take control. Andy. I'm trying to figure out why Natalie's been saying Andy. I only know two Andy. Andy who passed away. Hey, Andy. That would be Chris's husband. Unless we could talk about movies. Yeah, I've had a lot of burdens. So did Andy. He's on the other side, refusing to compromise. Stubborn, rigid, obstinate. I'll take the resilience. Mall. You said mall before. Something happened in the mall? You said mall down the road. 30. So where? Are you talking about Germany? Were you talking about Germany? Something more? They're attacking Germany. And that's what you said earlier. Self-development. 3 of Pentacles. Getting information. And success. So I'm guessing something in the mall. With Germany? That card is saying that. What? Nifty. D ain't dropping all your cards anymore. That's too much energy, I guess. I send them, if there's something that is going chaotic in the wall, wherever it be, protection. Send my archangels to protect them. New beginnings. Love, happiness, marriage, Ace of Cups.
Selection.
You know, when I hear about marriage, you gotta think about marriage in the 3D and the 5D. Because marriage in the 3D is, yeah, spiritual marriages, stuff like that. But when you start looking at 4th dimension and 5th dimension, it could be a marriage to a certain guide. It could be a marriage of, unfortunately, when you pass, it could be a merging over to the void. You know, maybe it's making a break for it, but we have got to see spiritualization. So people, in the end, can have the capability to save themselves. It is awful, right? Hopefully it's not too bad, wherever it is. Our world is so vengeful that people that actually get happy, something happened in Russia, you know, people in Germany, and that's some messed up. People need to get their minds erased. Everybody needs to start over again. Not taking humanity out and doing it like they did last time. Y'all gotta remember, we've been here so much longer than your minds can even imagine. And watch what? Courage to rise again. Yeah, reincarnation's here. I mean, that's also part of reincarnation. You can have a psychic medium who channels your loved ones, and that's a part of reincarnation because your energy went from that being into a new form, and that is called reincarnation. Wise, patient, intuitive. You know. One more card, Spirit. For the collective star seeds. One more card for the collective star seeds that you want from. Happiness. Just not a reader like everybody else. You know? It's like all star seeds are praying for the collective. Because, like, how many of you guys thought project to other readers, other spiritualists, send them light and love, and literally like tapping into their void and teaching them further along? Crayons. Yeah, definitely get into your mind, get into spirituality, get into your. And you go into drawing, painting, writing, music, and stuff like that. You connect to the void, you connect to your higher self. You become one with unity. Karma, justice, consequences, legal dispute. I mean, it's truthful. It says truth, honesty. I mean, I'm telling you the damn truth. I mean, I can go out here negative and go, oh my god, someone's gonna have a lawsuit, or someone's gonna have an accident. No. You all can do that. You all can feel that pain and that karma. I ain't doing it because it's all for projections, and you all need to be. It's like, I'll be the light channel. Y'all can fuck off to play with each other. I'll send and rebuke all the energy back to the Creator. He can deal it and see if he has to bring it to another planet on Earth. I don't know what to tell you all. Success. If our minds, if our minds are thought projecting, translate, right? If our minds are thought projecting to each other, and each of our brain have a sensor, and if we have people who are not connected and don't know the energies are coming through them, but literally servicing not only spirit, whatever spirit, your higher self. If you think that killing people and murdering people is your higher self, well, listen, I understand that people are being murdered left and right, but lack of knowledge of spiritualization, that right there is murder. And me not doing this, and Starseeds not doing this, does that mean that we are actually responsible for the deaths and murders if we can't get our messages across. And if we can't get our messages across, are we really doing our service? Because I see the world how it's going to be. With AI, karma, with different websites, certain people can't go off. It's going to get a lockdown where you're going to need your driver's license and you're going to become responsible for your karma. And bullying and shit's not going to be around anymore. You will be isolated. There will be different levels that will be hackable, unhackable. And I'm not. That's probably maybe 20 years from now. I see visions, but I don't necessarily have the time frame for it. But I'm getting better at this. At least I'm getting on. Letting go of the past, focusing on the future. That's the goal for our life. Alright, one more card for the collective. And thank you, spirits, ancestors, and angels, for being with me today and being with the world and protecting them always possible. I guess I like it. Inspiration. Alright, guys. Maybe I'll do another one later. Yeah, Thursday. One more card. Say goodbye. Theory, creativity, that's what it is. Alright, guys.